Hey man, let's talk about something most guys don't even realize is happening to them every single day. Something powerful, psychological, subtle, and once you understand it, you'll stop chasing women and start hooking them without saying much. It's called the Zeigarnik Effect. It's the psychological principle that people remember unfinished tasks better than completed ones. In other words, when something is unresolved, incomplete, left hanging, your mind keeps obsessing over it. It keeps replaying, searching, wondering. Now imagine applying that to attraction. Imagine what happens when you don't give her the closure she's used to, when you don't resolve every emotional loop, when you leave the conversation, the interaction, the flirtation open. That's how you create mental hooks. So deep, she starts thinking about you when she least expects it. Women are emotional creatures, no doubt, but more than that, they are narrative creatures. They live in stories, they replay memories, they fill in emotional blanks with imagination. So when you give her a perfectly wrapped, clear, resolved interaction, her brain closes the loop and moves on. But when you end things at a moment of intrigue, when you stop the conversation right before it peaks, when you leave just one more thing unsaid, her mind can't let go. That's the Zeigarnik Effect at play. And it's one of the most underused attraction tools in the game, especially when you're dealing with women who are hard to get. Now let's get real. When a woman acts hard to get, what she's really doing is trying to control the frame. She wants you to chase, to overinvest, to try harder than you should. And most men fall right into that trap. They start proving, explaining, showing off, hoping their consistency will win her over. But it doesn't, because what she's waiting for isn't your effort. It's your energy shift. She wants to feel something she can't fully explain, something that lingers. And when you walk away at the peak of emotional interest, when you break the rhythm on purpose, you shock her nervous system. You become the unresolved task her brain keeps chasing. Let's say you're talking to her. It's going well. She's laughing. She's opening up. You feel the momentum rising. Now most guys will keep pushing, keep riding the wave, but you understand the power of leaving things unfinished. So instead, you pull back. You say something like, you know what, I'll tell you the rest another time. Or you're fun to talk to, I'm going to bounce before this gets too interesting. Boom, you just planted a seed of curiosity. You left an interaction mid-story. And now, instead of being just another guy she talked to, you're the one her brain keeps looping back to. Why? Because the experience didn't finish. And unfinished means unforgettable. It's the same reason people binge watch Netflix. Cliffhangers. Every episode ends unresolved. So you keep watching, even when you're tired, even when you said just one more. That's the Zeigarnik Effect in action. Now apply it to texting. Most guys text back instantly, write long messages, explain everything. But you respond with energy, then suddenly disappear mid-thread. Not ghosting, just pulling back before the closure comes. You reply to her curiosity with silence. And now she's checking her phone, rereading your messages, wondering what she said wrong or what you're thinking. You've created a gap, and gaps breed obsession. Here's the truth. Women remember how you made them feel, not what you said. So when you leave interactions open-ended, you create a feeling of emotional suspense. It's not confusion, it's tension, it's that slight pressure in her chest, wondering what you meant, why you paused, where you went. It's not about being toxic or manipulative, it's about mastering emotional pacing. Because when you always resolve everything too soon, when you constantly explain, reassure, and wrap things up in a bow, she files you away in her mental folder called complete. And once you're complete, you're forgotten. But when you're incomplete, when you leave her questions unanswered, when you flirt and pull back, when you open loops and don't close them, you live in her imagination. You become a character in her mind. She keeps trying to understand. And brother, once you're in a woman's imagination, you're halfway in her heart, because she'll replay the interaction over and over, trying to decode your tone, your silence, your last word. And every replay deepens the emotional imprint. That's how obsession forms. That's how women start texting first, asking what you meant, trying to re-engage, not because you impressed her, but because you left her unfinished. And here's the beauty of it. It works especially well on women who think they're above being played. Women who are used to controlling men with beauty, with silence, with hard-to-get games. When you apply the Zeigarnik Effect on those women, when you show interest, and then vanish mid-story. You break their emotional script, you flip the dynamic, and now she's chasing. Now she's thinking about you during dinner with another guy. Now she's watching your stories, trying to see if you've moved on, because you became the one unresolved situation in her carefully managed life, and unresolved is irresistible. But understand this, using the Zeigarnik Effect isn't about playing games, it's about controlling the frame. It's about emotional discipline, knowing when to stop speaking, when to walk away, when to hold back, just enough to leave her curious. Most guys fear silence, they fear mystery, they fear not being understood, so they overshare. But that's emotional weakness, not connection. A strong man is comfortable leaving things hanging, comfortable with letting her feel a bit uncertain, because he knows that tension pulls harder than words, that curiosity outperforms clarity every single time. Yeah, now here's the real kicker. The Zeigarnik Effect doesn't just work in early attraction, it keeps working throughout a relationship. When you stop being predictable, when you become emotionally incomplete again, when you inject subtle mystery into long-term connections, you reignite her feminine desire. You stop over-communicating. You stop always being available. You start being slightly out of reach, not neglect but not resolved. And in doing that, you shift her emotional chemistry. You stop being the man she knows and start being the man she wants to keep figuring out. That's how you keep her hooked for months, years, even a lifetime. One of the deadliest mistakes you can make with a hard-to-get woman is thinking effort alone will win her. It won't. These women aren't looking for effort. They're subconsciously looking for mental stimulation, for a man who doesn't give them what they expect, a man who makes them feel something unresolved, because hard to get is a performance, it's a test. And most men fail because they play along too sincerely. They think the way to her heart is through logic, predictability, or sincerity. But here's the secret. What she truly desires is a man who knows how to tap into her emotional ambiguity. And that means giving her a taste, then pulling away before she fully consumes it. That's what drives her crazy. That's what keeps her up at night. This is where your discipline becomes everything. The average man can't do this. He gets anxious when the girl pulls away. He texts to check in. He pours out his heart, thinking that vulnerability equals intimacy. But the master of the Zeigarnik Effect, he knows the power of walking away mid-chapter. He doesn't seek comfort through clarity. He uses uncertainty. He allows her to sit in that gap, to replay what he said, to wonder what he's doing now. And that emotional limbo, that quiet, subtle suspense, it digs into her like a splinter. Small but impossible to ignore. That's how you turn space into seduction, silence into strength. Look at how women react to books, movies, songs they can't fully understand. They obsess. They talk about it for days, weeks, years. Why? Because the meaning wasn't handed to them on a silver platter. They had to think, to guess, to feel. Now apply that to you. Don't give her a summary of who you are. Don't rush to resolve every interaction. Become a symbol in her life, something with emotional weight but no clear definition. Let her interpret your silences. Let her analyze your pauses. Let her build a story around who you are. That's the trap. Not because you're manipulating her, but because you're inviting her into the mystery. Understand this. Most women don't remember the man who gave them closure. They remember the man who didn't. The one who made them feel something unfamiliar. The one who created an open loop in their emotional story. It's not the loudest man. It's not the richest. It's the man who left something unsaid, who walked away mid-sentence, who vanished after the moment peaked. Why? Because he disrupted the narrative, and disruption creates him. You don't want to be the guy who gets remembered with a smile. You want to be the guy who gets remembered with a pause, a heartbeat, a mental, why did he leave like that? That's the echo of the Zeigarnik Effect. You see, women get attention all day, validation all day, but emotional suspense, that's rare, that's valuable, that's magnetic. And once you understand how to create it, how to time your exits, how to speak less but mean more, how to give a spark without feeding the fire, you'll start noticing something. They come back, not because you begged, not because you performed, but because you stayed incomplete. You didn't close the door, you left it slightly ajar, enough for her to wonder, enough for her to push it open again. And when she does, that's when you lead, that's when you control the frame. The Zeigarnik Effect, also protects your masculine frame, because instead of constantly giving, you become selective. Instead of chasing resolution, you embrace ambiguity. And ambiguity is powerful. It forces her to step into her emotions, to engage with her curiosity, to invest without certainty. That's when you become the challenge. That's when her ego and desire collide. She starts thinking, why can't I figure him out? And that question, that tension is the very thing that keeps her thinking of you days, weeks, months later. You planted an emotional riddle, and she won't stop until she solves it. It's important to say again, this isn't manipulation, it's restoring polarity. Women are the emotional, chaotic, fluid force. Men are the solid, mysterious, anchored presence. When you flip that, when you overshare, overexpress, overexplain, you become the emotional one, and that reverses attraction. But when you remain the steady enigma, the man who's emotionally composed and psychologically elusive, you reignite the natural tension between masculine and feminine. She doesn't want everything on the table. She wants to feel like she's still earning parts of you. That's what makes it thrilling. That's what makes it real. If you truly master this, you won't need cheesy pickup lines. You won't need long text. You won't need to explain your intentions, because your energy will speak for you. Your discipline, your ability to create and withhold emotional resolution will set you apart from every other man. You'll become the one she wants to unlock, the one she tries to understand, the one she keeps coming back to, even when she doesn't want to, because you weren't just a moment, you were a mental loop she never closed. That's what makes her want you, and only you. The best part, you can use the Zeigarnik Effect forever. It works at every stage. Early dating, leave your stories half finished. In a relationship, be emotionally honest, but not emotionally exhausting. With the next, reach out once, drop something ambiguous, and disappear. Each time, you create that tension of incompleteness, and that's the emotion that doesn't fade, because clarity feels good, short-term, but mystery stays. Clarity is contentment, mystery is desire, and if she still desires you, brother, you never really lost her. So here's your power play. Don't give her closure. Don't give her all of you. Leave a door open. Leave a question unanswered. Leave a piece of you unexplored. Not because you're hiding, but because you know the value of tension, the value of curiosity, the value of emotional leverage. Learn to master the Zeigarnik Effect, and you'll never have to chase again. You'll become the question mark in her mind that keeps echoing, keeps haunting, keeps pulling her back, and when she finally realizes why she can't forget you, it'll be too late. You already became the man she can't replace.